Welcome back. I'm Stephanie Ruhle. This final week before Thanksgiving could be a busy one for special counsel Robert Mueller and his team of investigators. They reportedly set to interview or have already interviewed White House Communications Director Hope Hicks, Senior Advisor Jared Kushner, and White House Counsel Don McGahn. White House Special Counsel Ty Cobb told NPR the interviews should be completed by Thanksgiving or shortly thereafter. Joining me now, NBC News intelligence and national security reporter Ken Dilanian and MSNBC terrorism analyst Malcolm Nance. All right, gentlemen. Ken, I want to start with you. It's pretty obvious why Bob Mueller would be interested in talking to Jared Kushner, but what could the focus of the interviews with Hope Hicks and Don McGahn be?
Good morning, Stephanie. Well, these two senior White House officials appear to figure prominently in Robert Mueller's investigation into whether the president obstructed justice by pressuring James Comey to go easy on Mike Flynn, essentially, and then firing Comey when he didn't. McGahn, the White House counsel in particular, is crucial there because acting Attorney General Sally Yates went to him, McGahn, to warn that Mike Flynn had been lying about his conversations with the Russian ambassador and was subject to blackmail. Mueller's going to want to know exactly what McGahn told the president about that because Flynn remained in office for 18 days after that warning until it leaked, and then he was fired. Hope Hicks, the communications director, was part reportedly of crafting that misleading statement on Air Force One about the June 2016 Trump Tower meeting between Don Jr. and the Russian lawyer.
Hold on. Was that the one that they said was about the orphans?
About adoption, you got it. That's right. And Hicks is also popping up in other Russia storylines. You know, just this week, The Atlantic reported that she was informed about Don Jr.'s, Twitter conversations with WikiLeaks. So these two officials are pretty crucial to Mueller's investigation, Stephanie.
All right, Malcolm, let's talk about Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Yesterday, his testimony on the Hill, I want to share a bit of it. Take a look.
After reading his account and to the best of my recollection, I believe that I wanted to make clear to him that he was not authorized to represent the campaign with the Russian government or any other foreign government for that matter. But I did not recall this event, which occurred 18 months before my testimony of a few weeks ago.
How do you not remember a meeting, but then you remember specific details about that meeting? I can't figure it out. Malcolm?
Well, there's a lot of things that he can't recall. That's almost his middle name now when he gives testimony.
Nope, his middle name is Beauregard. Don't ever forget it.
That's got to be Southern for I can't remember. But for the most part, every time he comes up here, he makes these denials. There's some piece of data comes out and we patently catch him in this. As you said, how does he not remember that he had the meeting, but then suddenly, once it's refreshed, he remembers all the details of this meeting, but still says everything I said was true? I don't know whether he actually knows that he's falling into a perjury trap here. But, I know Al Franken, the last time that he interviewed him, made it eminently clear that he wasn't telling the truth, and this is going to come back and bite him.
All right, let's talk about something else that could come back and bite Donald Trump or Don Jr., who talked about he only had 3 communications with WikiLeaks. But I want to share President Trump, his relationships with WikiLeaks, which he referenced at least 140 times on the campaign trail. I just want to share a sample of it. Take a look.
WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks. And WikiLeaks. 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 That came out on WikiLeaks. 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 Boy, I love reading those WikiLeaks. 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 WikiLeaks, right? It's WikiLeaks. 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 That's WikiLeaks. Did you see on WikiLeaks? On WikiLeaks. 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 And WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks.
Wiki, licky, ticky. I mean, that is only 1/4 of the 140 times we here at NBC News, so the number is probably greater than that, that the president joyfully referenced WikiLeaks on the campaign trail. Based on what we know about WikiLeaks and Russia, could these enthusiastic references come back to haunt the president? Malcolm?
Yes, they are coming back to haunt the president. You know, I find this whole WikiLeaks Don Jr. exchange very interesting because WikiLeaks reached out to him in the middle of September. We were already 8 weeks into people reporting that WikiLeaks might be acting as a Russian intelligence influence operation. And the Trump campaign seemed to see no problem with that. I'm starting to think that since it involved Donald Trump Jr., Donald Trump Jr. may be the center of all the dirty tricks campaigns and not Mike Flynn like we thought, because, you know, a few months before he meets with Veselnitskaya, the Russian lawyer, about adoptions. And he may have been the guy who was coordinating all of these, you know, these pieces of data. And, you know, Mike Flynn may have just been the executor of his will.
And Stephanie, to add to what Malcolm just said, if there was any doubt, on October 7th, the intelligence community released a public statement naming WikiLeaks as a conduit to a Russian interference campaign in the election. And most of those references you just played came after that. So the country and the Trump campaign were on notice that WikiLeaks was cooperating with Russian intelligence, Stephanie.
On October 7th. And I remind you, on October 31st of this year, Don Jr. sent out that tweet saying he was going to take half of his daughter's Halloween candy away and teach her how socialism works, forgetting that, you know how you get that Halloween candy? Free handouts. Okie doke, coming up, thank you both. Coming up, shocking new details about just how much